Good evening, welcome to the inaugural Copper Loader Racing vlog. This week we'll be previewing the big racing fixtures at Musselburgh, Sandown and Leopardstown, where the Dublin Festival gets underway tomorrow. Also look at some of the news that's happening across racing over the past week, give you my thoughts on that, and we'll also give you a couple of ante-post tips for one for the Cheltenham Festival. One of them runs tomorrow at Leopardstown actually, and the other is for the Grand National, where the entries for that just came out this week. So that's all to come up on Copper Loader Racing this Friday night. So let's start off with the news, and sad news in fact, to start off the vlog, and it was the passing of a festival winning trainer, Malcolm Jefferson, one of the big trainers from the north. Horses like Cape Tribulation he had success with, and the likes of According to Pete, who I backed in the National one year, but he passed away, been suffering from a long illness, had Malcolm, and he passed away at the age of 71, his family announced this morning. The likes of Tindari won the Pertemps back in '94. He also had Dato Star, another a well-known horse to those in the National Hunt field, but Cape Tribulation was probably one of his best known horses. At a Glance, another one, but sad news there. Cloudy Dream was probably one of his last horses, finished second in the Arco last season. Very good horse. Some good memories shared on the likes of Twitter today. Dennis O'Regan, the jockey who had an association with Cape Tribulation, had said, very sad to hear Malcolm Jefferson has passed away. Great trainer, and we shared some great days. He will sadly be missed. And there was also Brendan Powell, a fellow trainer, said the knowledge that the man had in his head regarding horses you just cannot replace or buy. So thoughts go out to Malcolm's friends and family at this tough time, and he'll be sadly missed in the sport. From one of the great trainers that sadly passed away, one of the equine stars of National Hunt Racing is actually retired due to injury, and that's Mad Place. It was announced this week. Alan King's horse, the sparkling grey horse, you may remember, winning the Hennessy back in 2015, front running ride by Wayne Hutchison, if I remember, and I backed it that day, and was delighted to see the horse win one big race in its career. Also won the Cotswold Chase at Cheltenham, but Alan said on his website that Mad Place had damaged his right force suspensory ligament, and while it's not too serious, thankfully, this was always going to be his last season, and it being enough to stop, we have decided to call it a day. So Mad Place, he was entered to run in either the Gold Cup or the Ryanair Chase at the festival, but he'll now be sent out to grass and hopefully can recover from that injury pretty quickly and enjoy his retirement. One other piece of news that I picked up on during the week was the fine for trainer Ivan Furtado due to the wrong horse mix-up at Southwell. Some of you may have been aware of it. It was in the news there. He was fined £2,000 for running the wrong horses in 2 races at Southwell last month. African Trader and Scribner Creek back in January the 14th. A lot of people asking how can this happen, because the horses, when they arrive at the course, are scanned into the stables, and then when they go out onto the parade ring before the race, are scanned again just to make sure it's the right horse. So somebody's obviously made a big muck up there. I think what they should be trying to do going forward is that when they're scanned into the parade ring, if it's a wrong horse, it basically, instead of what seems to have maybe happened is the person that's doing it's just seen that it's Ivan Furtado, it's the same jockey maybe, and they've just went and not really maybe checked the name of the horse. Maybe there should be a warning signal that goes off to tell them that doesn't match what's on the race card for that race, and that would solve a big problem. The worrying thing is that although we've seen it happen as well, there was one, I think it was Yarmouth last season, there seems to be an indication that might have happened more, but this is, we've only known about these incidents, and obviously as a punter, one of the plain simple things you want to make sure about is that the horse that you've backed is that actual horse. So that's one interesting one going forward. Right, let's move forward to this weekend's racing. I'm going to start off as I'd always said in the run up to this vlog. Scottish racing is very much at the forefront of this, and there's a magnificent 2 days racing at Musselburgh starting tomorrow, and it's their Cheltenham Trials weekend. You probably couldn't find 2 different varying tracks than Musselburgh and Cheltenham. One goes left-handed, one goes right-handed. One's a sharp track, Musselburgh, flat sharp track, whereas Cheltenham's very much known for its undulations and tough, stiff uphill finish, of course, down there. But it's a big weekend in itself for Musselburgh. It's a great standalone races itself, and going to get stuck into the cards and give you some of my thoughts as we go forward. And if you can get along to Musselburgh, do try and do so either on Saturday or Sunday. The pick of the racing maybe is going to be in the Sunday. Really, a couple of interesting novice trials going to be taking place on Sunday, but the Saturday card is just as good, and the weather looks set fair for the weekend as well. But let's get stuck into it. Let's get right into things. The racing will be covered on ITV4 at the weekend, as well as RUK, if you can pick it up. But the first race we'll look at Musselburgh is the 130, which is the Bet365 Scottish Future Champions Novices Chase. Moment 5 declared to go. Paul Nicholls is sending up some strong horses over the weekend, and Nick Schofield's on Peter the Mailman, number 4 on your card. Looks a decent horse, looks like it's got a real decent chance. Finished won last time out at Doncaster over the similar distance than what he's going to face at Musselburgh. A lot of the other horses that he's going to be taking on, the likes of Keeper Hill, who also won at Doncaster last time out, they're stepping back down in trip. Same with Alzama, who won at Catterick in a 3-horse race over the extended 3 miles, and Barney Dwan, another one who won at Market Raising. So, but I do like the profile of Peter the Mailman. Picked up that inaugural victory under Nick Schofield, who's back on board tomorrow, and I just fancy Peter the Mail. The man will, be suited by the distance, the sharpness of the track, and I think he'll run well. So I would put my money towards Peter the Mailman in that 130. The 205 follows up next, and it's the Scottish Bet365 Scottish County Hurdle Handicap, Scotland's own version of the County Hurdle. Again, 5 runners go to post here. Forth Bridge is an interesting runner for Charlie Longston. He's quite a regular at Musselburgh. Seems to enjoy the track there, and Jonathan Burke is booked for the ride there. He's away from Musselburgh. He was pulled up last time out at Doncaster, and he's kind of, his form's kind of frittered away since his last win, which came at this meeting last year. So it'll be interesting to see if he can recoup that form. There's a few other notable runners. Dear Sire is one for Donald McCain, who's in good form. Donald McCain there, and Paul Nicholls sends up Amour du Nuit, with the very popular Bryony Frost taking £5 off. She's on magnificent time at the moment, as we know, and she's another big Saturday booking there for Paul Nicholls. That finished 3rd last time out at Doncaster. The one that catches the eye, who enjoys running at Musselburgh, is Sir Chauvelin for Jim Goldie, local trainer to myself, just up the road at Uplamure. Jim has got £3. Also, Callum Bewley takes off. He won at New Year's Day over the same trip, in a decent contest, has to be said, and won that, I think, quite cosily. So he's went up £7 for that win in this race. So it's a better class of race, of course, but £3 Callum Bewley takes off, and I just think Sir Chauvelin, who seems to be rejuvenated, taking over, jumping over the hurdles, very well known in the flat as well. For you that are interested in one, just as well, he's on a hat-trick of wins actually, because he won in the flat at Newcastle back in November as well. So he's an interesting runner. I think I would stick my money that way on Sir Chauvelin in the County Hurdle. Moving on to the 245, and it's a Champion Chase handicap, Scottish Bet365 Scottish Champion Chase, and Maracuja. Bryony Frost and Paul Nicholls team up again. It's coming back to just to 2 miles. Last time out at Newbury, finished 5th of 10. And it's in this race where you've got a few horses in and out of form. Baby King is probably going to be one of his, Tom George's horse is going to be one of his big rivals. But I just think the form that Paul Nicholls is in with Bryony Frost on board, had been on a hat-tricks of runners-up at Kempton, Huntingdon and Cheltenham prior to that, this back end of last season and into this season, and might just be rejuvenated. Does like decent ground, Maracuja, and the ground at Musselburgh is good to soft at the moment and good in places, and I don't think that's really going to change. There's not much forecast rain, if any, so I'll stick my neck out on the top weight Maracuja in the Champion Chase handicap. 3:15 is the Edinburgh National Handicap Chase, the Bet365 sponsoring the card, of course, so it's a testing 4 miles here, 25 grand to the winner. So it's nothing to be shut at. And last year's winner, I think I'm going to go for, and this could be the big bet of the day, big price, Dancing Shadow for Victor Dartnell and Nick Schofield. Won this race last year, and possibly hasn't been in the greatest of form since. I have to say, he was, you know, as I say, he won this last year off a weight of 10.9. He's 11.3, so he's, you know, it's okay, he's putting up in the weight slightly. He's a year older as well, but I just think Musselburgh brings the best out of this horse, and this might be, again, good ground, seems to see him well. He did win in heavy ground, that has to be said, at Exeter back in November, but didn't really put in much of a performance at Sandown last time out in December, finishing last of 10. But I think this could be his day. Looking Well will be a decent enough horse, looking well for Nicky Richards and Ryan Day. And another one that might be worth noting is Mr. Dawn for Rose Dobbin. That's another horse that may take interest, but I'm going to stick out on Dancing Shadow to get back that form that it showed at Musselburgh last time out last year. The last race we'll look at Musselburgh, there is a Hunter's Chase at 4:20, but the last race I'll look at is the 3:45. It's the Bet365.com handicap hurdle. There's 2 horses that catch my eye. Character Onesie, who I'm absolutely positive used to be a Richard Fahey horse, but Donald McCain's now got that horse now. But the one that I'm going to go with, Lucinda Russell, need a few Scottish winners at Musselburgh. It would be nice to see, as usual. And Lucinda is in decent enough form, had a winner at Ayr on Wednesday. She's got Kelpie's Myth in this race, and Kelpie's Myth just ran at Musselburgh last couple of times, finishing 4th and 3rd. Won at Musselburgh back in March of last year, so certainly likes the track, but that's expected. It is a Lucinda Russell horse, so it's going to run there a lot. So I think again, it likes again decent ground, and I think that's one to take note of, Kelpie's Myth in that race. Character Onesie, as I say, for Donald McCain, was second last time out at Musselburgh on the 3rd of January, and again it certainly will be the horse that I think will be the one to take note of. But it's certainly one of Richard Fahey's former runners, and it's been bought to take a run over the flat, over hurdles, and it seems to be progressing in the right direction there for Donald. But Kelpie's Myth would be my tip in that race. Let's move to Sandown. They've got a decent card, as you would imagine, on a Saturday. We'll start off with the 150 there. The Betfred Supports Jack Berryhouse Contenders Hurdle. It's a listed race, and there's only 3 runners, and there's only really 1 runner to take note of, and that's Bouvedere for, of course, Nicky Henderson. You know, this is prepping obviously for the big champion hurdle, the champion hurdle, the reigning champion as such, and he's unbeaten for the as we've seen of late. Won at Kempton, won the Christmas hurdle, of course. Prior to that, won the Fighting Fifth. and won the Aintree hurdle, and so everything's going in the right direction. Is not up against much. John Constable is the one that's going to take him on, but he'd run off a couple of wins over the spring and summer. Likes decent ground, does John Constable, winning at Haydock and Market Raisin, but certainly it should be no match for Belvedere, and neither should Capin, I think it is, this horse that is brought over. I think it's just recently from France. I'm not too sure, but it's 200 to 1 at the moment with Paddy Power. So really, it's Belvedere. It's just to keep a watching brief, see how he runs. Of course, we're going to speak about, there's the Irish Champion hurdle this weekend, and we'll see how that pans out as well. More competitive action as the card goes on. We've got the Grade 1 Betfred TV Silly Isles Novices Chase. 5 runners go to posting. 5 to 4 favourite at the moment is Terrafort for Nicky Henderson and Darren Jacobs. This is this horse that they've brought over from France. Won first time out at Huntingdon under Darrell back a few weeks ago, and is certainly the one that's catching the eye in this race as they build up to probably running in the GLT, I would imagine. So that's a one, but you're going on that form that the fact that, it's going to be softish ground. The chase course is soft, good to soft in places. Hurdles course at Sandown currently soft, good to soft in places, but heavy in the home straight, as it always is really at Sandown, because it's used all year round, the home straight, for flat racing as well, so it gets cut up a bit. There's decent contenders in there though. You've got Synonym, that's one for Sean Bowen on board for Paul Nicholls. That's that one last time out at Kempton on softish ground, so one to take note of. Calondra, one at Cheltenham during the international meeting, so again Neil Mulholland's charge is 72 currently. The other two, No Comment and West Approach, they will need to find a lot in form in terms of big step up in class for them, but again for me it'll be a watching brief, this race. It's too shortish prices to get involved in, but Calondra won pretty well, I thought, at Cheltenham last time out, and seems to be progressing in the right direction. If you maybe put a line through its performance at Wincanton, if you can, when it finished second there, but if you're looking for a bit of value, softish ground, then maybe Calondra is that. But then again, at the end of the day, Terrafort likes the soft ground. It's a French bred horse, so you can't really see past that maybe. Moving on to a much more competitive handicap hurdle. I picked a 12 to 1 shot in this race. This is 3 o'clock, the Betfred Heroes handicap hurdle, a grade 3. I'm going to go for Flemcara here for Emma Lavelle. Patrick Cowley's on board, and he's taking £7 off as well. So I like this horse. It's on the upward. I get it. It's won its last 3 races, and it's Worcester, Exeter, and Chepstow, and it's picking up, and it's now running in grade 3 company. So it is. I get it. It is taking on better horses here, but it'll like the ground on the hurdles track. It's one, stamina will not be a problem at all for him. He won over 3 miles last time out, so I think at 12 to 1, Flemcara for Emma Lavelle, and she's in good form as well. Emma is the one for me in that race. 12 to 1 your dough there. Then after that, the 3:35 is the Betfred Mobile Masters handicap chase, and again I picked out one here. It's for Paul Nicholls. I think he could be in for a good day tomorrow, Paul Nicholls. Samati Gal, backed it a few times when it used to be jumping over the old hurdles. It's been going chasing of late. Finished third last time out at Cheltenham on New Year's Day, and okay, you could say it was well beaten into third in that race. And this race is a little bit of stepping up and trip here. Takes a bit of jump in Sandown, of course. You've got the railway fences down the back, but I really do like this horse. And that, okay, I maybe could be accused of my heart ruling my head at times, but at 8 to 1, I think it's got a real decent each way shot. If you're an each way backer, stick it in your each way lucky 15 if you can. I think it'll run well, and maybe the step up and trip, maybe they'll not just go as fast in this race because of the ground, and that might suit them. So Samatigal for me in that race. There. Right, over to Ireland, where the first day of the Dublin Festival takes place. Some really cracking racing over the 2 days at Leopardstown. First we'll look at the 145 tomorrow, the Coral Dublin Chase, and we've got Min. We've got Simply Ned, Special Tiara, York Hill, Alazier de Ireland, Ballycasey and Ordinary World. It's a cracking race, this. Min is all the rage, of course, for you know who, Willie Mullins. But York Hill is this interesting horse, isn't he? He's back and forth, he's been chasing, he's been hurdling. Some have said he'll maybe come back and do the champion hurdle, but here he is, just over the extended 2 miles. Last time out, over 3 miles, he was well beaten at Leopardstown. But you look back when he won at Fairyhouse back in December of 2016, he ran on 2 miles and pretty heavy ground, and it wasn't much of a rivals there. But I think York Hill could beat Min on Saturday, so I'm going to go for that. Special Tiara ran at Kempton, if you remember, and fell. I just feel he's a horse that loves Cheltenham, Special Tiara, and runs really well at Cheltenham, and probably will run again well at Cheltenham come Champion Chase Day. But I'm going to see York Hill to beat Min in that race. Then we've got the Frank Ward Solicitors Arkle Novice Chase at 2:20 at Leopardstown, and Footpad is the one that catches the eye, of course, in this race. He'll be well backed. He's really picked up this season, really looked at a real class, winning at Navan and at Leopardstown over Christmas as well. A real likeable horse. A lot of people stick on for the Arkle itself in March, so people will watch this. Again, for me, it'll be a watching brief, this race. Petit Mouchoir is going to give him a run for his money, I'm sure. Won back in October at Punchestown, has had a bit of a layoff since there. And Demi Sang couldn't be ruled out after that's won at Naas, sorry. But in a way, you want Footpad to win it, just to really keep that vibe going in the run up to Cheltenham. But we'll see. Then for me, a real cracker, 3:30. It's the BHP Insurance Irish Champion Hurdle. You've got Jesky, you've got Melon, you've got Identity Thief, Mick Jazz, Super Sunday, Bopom and Defi Dessous. But at the top, you've got Faugheen, Faugheen the Machine. Disappointing that Christmas over the same trip at Leopardstown was pulled up, of course, just didn't look himself. But Ruby Walsh of late has been speaking that he seems to be back to his best, and he really is positive about him. And I think there was touches of 13.8, and you know, it's really tempting to think if this horse shows up, then I don't see anything in this field beating him. He is a real special talent. I know there's certain people like Matt Chapman from ITV Racing who gets a little bit carried away about Faugheen and thinks it's the best champion, well, the best hurdler, 2 mile hurdler we've seen. And then I can see where he's coming from, to be honest. He is an absolute beast at times, and if, you know, when Ruby Walsh is purring about him, then let's hope he is, because it would be cracking. I wasn't that impressed with Melon, I must admit, in the International. I think that's beatable. Jesky, maybe his best days are behind it. Defi Dessous, I wouldn't rule out that. You know, he's got, you know, some decent form, but if Faughin's anywhere near its best, then you can forget about the rest. Right, going to switch, before we move on to Sunday's cars, going to switch to 2 races at Lingfield. I love my flat racing, I have to say. So there's 2 listed races at Lingfield tomorrow. One's a little beauty, I have to say. The Betway Cleves Stakes, a fast track qualifier for the All Weather Championships, which come up at Lingfield on Good Friday. And there's really interesting runners. Into Sab's in there. You've got Lancelot Dulac, who won, of course, the Stewards Cup. You've got Gracious John. You've got Catchy. There's a real mixed bag in there. I was looking at Gracious John initially, but I really think it's a 5 furlong horse, Gracious John, and this is over the 6. And if it was a 5 furlong race, I would have been really keen on him. 2 of them stick out. Lancelot Dulac got his own way in the brilliant ride with Frankie, of course. Lancelot Dulac, Robert Winston is back on board for Dean Ivory. They two team up really well, has to be said. And he would be in with a chance. Kimberella loves Lingfield, absolutely loves Lingfield. Won the All-Weather Championship there back then. Hasn't been in the best of form. Won at Chester. The last victory came at Chester back in August of last year in a decent race. Paul Hannigan's back on board on Kimberella, and I could see that partnership coming to fruit, bringing some success there. Currently run about 12 to 10 to 1 with William Hill at the moment. Kimberella. It might be worth a wee each way bash. It does like Lingfield, as I say, and that might be one. The other race that catches eye at Lingfield tomorrow is the 3:05, and that's the Betway Winter Derby Trial Stakes. The Winter Derby, not far away. And the couple of horses caught my eye. 3 horses, Firefighting, Mark Johnston. You look at it and you think, it's got a chance, but in and out of form of late. So I'm tempted to run not long ago at Lingfield and finish well down the field in that race, but you can't always rule out one of his. There's 2 really, but I'm going to one other one note is Victory Bond. I think Ryan Moore takes a ride on that for William Haggis. But I'm going to go for the one at the top for Archie Watson and Luke Morris, who's a specialist on the old all-weather, and it's Petit Jack. I'll send my money that way. Won a listed race at Lingfield last time out, back in a couple of days before Christmas, in fact, and seems to enjoy the all-weather. Most of its running is done there at Chelmsford or Lingfield, and so horse is going in the right direction. This is a tougher race than the one back in December, I would say, obviously, but I'm going to go for Petit Jack to win that one under Luke Morris. Right, let's get through. I've still got those anti-post bets that I'm going to suggest to you for the Cheltenham Festival and also for the Grand National. But let's quickly fire through Sunday's cards at Musselburgh and at Leopardstown. Musselburgh, there is it's a lot of good juveniles on show on Sunday at Musselburgh, so if you want, get along to see them. Really good horses. So let's quickly fire through. We've got the Bet365 Scottish Triumph juvenile hurdle listed race there at 125 there. The horse that catches my eye, Darryl Jacobs, on the up to take the ride for Nicky Henderson for We Have a Dream there. It's on a real winning run, having won at Chepstow, Doncaster and Warwick. But there is really good opposition. Act of Valour for Paul Nicholls is there, and also Crucial Moment, you wouldn't rule that out, won at Sandown pretty nicely a few weeks back. But yeah, those 3 at the head of the market, I would say, but We Have a Dream I would go for in that one. The 2 o'clock is the Sky Bet Supreme Scottish Trial Novices Hurdle. And this is a real belter, I think. You've got Beyond the Clouds for Kevin Ryan and Brian Hughes. You've got Paul Nicholls and Harry Cobden teaming up for Brams de Clermont. You've also got Clayman taken Forgun. I probably said that wrong, but anyway, that's there for Nicky Henderson. And then you've got Ballyvick Borough for Brian Ellison, who got that great victory last week at Cheltenham with Definitely Red. He's been racing a lot in Scotland, Perth Fair, Musselburgh, and won at Perth and Musselburgh. This is a step up, obviously, in terms of class. It's a real belter of a little race. I'm going to really enjoy this one. And to really focus, you could go with Beyond the Clouds as the one that maybe is for Kevin Ryan. That could be the one that maybe he's been racing in lower grade. That's you could go with that. But I would say the Nicky Henderson and Paul Nicholls horse are the two that probably the market forces will dictate upon. And I really can't pick between them. I think I would wait to see what the market's like on that one come Sunday. The 235, the Albert Bartlett Not Scottish Trial Novices race. Again, some good opposition, good race. Nicky Henderson and Nicola de Bourneville. I've got Mr. Whipped. Another real class act. It looks like it could be progressing, and one run really well in Classic Chase Day at Warwick, I thought, over the 2.5, just over the 2 mile 5. So stepping up to just under 3 mile now, is obviously the target will be the Albert Bartlett at Cheltenham. So Mr. Whip looks the one to beat, possibly. Ravenhill Road was beaten at Donny last time out for Brian Ellison, but you can't rule him out when he's got horses up in the north. And Paul Nicholls and Nicky Henderson, they really are going to be going hammer and tongs at Musselburgh, which is great. It's great to see. And he's got Bryony Frost on board, present man, which disappointed at Newbury on Hennessy, well, not Hennessy Day now, it's called Ladbrokes Trophy Day, and a big handicap there. But had won well at Wincanton prior to that. And Bryony seems to go on well, as she does a lot of horses, but she won well with him at Kempton, I remember, back in October as well. So, but I'll go for Mr. Whipped, I would say, in that one, the Albert Bartlett. Then it's Pertemps Network Group Handicap Hurdle, the 310. For me, Knockhouse is the one. Donald McCain and Brian Hughes teaming up there. Get a decent price on that, I would say. Was a reserve for the Grand National, in fact, Knockhouse, and it's you look at its form and you're digging through and you're thinking, geez, there's holes in it there, but I don't know. I just think there's an opportunity there for this horse. Step back into Hurdle Company, and it'll be off a decent enough mark. I thought it ran decent enough when it finished this last time over hurdles back in February last year. So it's had a long break. It's not been seen since racing at Aintree when it was pulled up. And I think it might have a wee chance stepping into Hurdle Company there. That's Knockhouse, excuse me. Let's quickly jump over to Leopardstown. Another cracking card. Start off with the 115 Tattersalls Island Spring Juvenile Hurdle. For me, it's between two horses, Espoir d'Allen for Barry Geraghty and Mr. Adjudicator for Willie Mullins. Where do you come down on in that one? I would say maybe I would go for the old Barry Geraghty to see one over Mullins in that one. Then you've got the Deloitte Novice Hurdle. This is an absolute belter here. You've got Paloma Blue, Sam Crow, Top of the Ra. You've got Duke Days, Glenreves, Real Steel, Sharjah and Whiskey Sour. And that's really, you could be, if they all stand their ground come Sunday, then it's going to be a real belter. I think actually Early Doors might have a chance here. Joseph O'Brien's horse, I'm sure it is. If it runs, I think Early Doors might be the one. Ran well, I felt, last time out at Fairyhouse, but had wins behind it at Naas and I was going to say Wrexham there, Wexford. So maybe Early Doors could lead to a walk-in and get the money up on that. And the 3 o'clock, the Novice Chase. Now I'm going to go over Raf Vinden in this one. Was brought down last time out at Leopardstown, and I really thought it was going to win, and it was going well, but it's hard to say if it would have won. But I've always had a soft spot for Raf Vinden, and it's got decent form behind it, been placed in all 4 of its starts prior to that race at Leopardstown over Christmas. So I'm going to go with Raf Vinden, 3 o'clock at Leopardstown. Then it's the Irish Gold Cup, Grade 1 Unibet Irish Gold Cup at 3:35, and they've got Jackadam is back in action, but it's a real decent race. You've got Manila Rocco is over running in it. You've got Annabelle Fly, who won well last time out over Christmas, and you've got Cullita Vic, who won at Punchestown over Christmas as well, in Hogmanay actually, and yeah, Mala Beach. But I'm going to go with Outlander. I think Outlander could run a real decent race, and yeah, so Outlander for me. Each way punt maybe in that race in the Gold Cup for Gordon Elliott there. So that gives you an indication of everything that's up for running. There I've covered most of the big races, or all of the big races in fact, over the weekend. Going to move on. So if I was to say one of my big price horses over the weekend, if there was a horse, big, and every weekend I'll try and give you a horse at a good price that I think will run big and on a Saturday. So Dancing Shadow may be the one in the Edinburgh National. You'll get a good price on that, I would say, and that might be worth it. Sandown Flemcara at 12-1. Not a massive price, but still decent enough. So Dancing Shadow and Flemcara for me, get each way money. Now, in terms of anti-post, if you're going to get involved in anti-post, it's really, I know Cheltenham Festival, it's no run or no bet. We all know about horses changing with regards to the options that lie ahead there. But there's 2 horses I want to pinpoint. One for the Cheltenham Festival going forward, and as we move closer to the big week down at the Cotswolds, I'll maybe add in more of my fancies. This horse is actually due to run tomorrow at Leopardstown. I think it's in the opening race at Leopardstown, and it's one of Gordon Elliott's, and it's one of Gigginstown's. In fact, the 2 horses I picked out are Gigginstown horses. But this one is Dortmund Park, and it's entered into the Albert Bartlett at Cheltenham. I've not had a punt on it yet. Well, sorry, I have had a punt, not a big punt on it, just a few quid on it at the moment for Cheltenham. If it wins tomorrow at Leopardstown, you would imagine its price would shorten, but I can't see it shortening too much. We're still over a month away from the festival, and currently it's trading at 12-1. You could get maybe 14s if you shop around. But it's, as I say, it's due to run tomorrow on the 1:10 at Leopardstown, over 2 miles 6. It's won its last 2 outings on heavy ground at St. But let's remember that it's running in Ireland in January, when that's all you're going to expect is heavy ground at the likes of Thurles and Fairyhouse. So I just like this horse and the way it won. It won really well under Davy Russell last time out at Thurles, and it was a good price. I know it was 12-1, and it was a decent race that it won. And I think it's just got that profile, that progressing profile going into the Albert Bartlett, which is always one of those races which can throw up a decent priced winner and cause a wee bit of surprise. So Dortmund Park's currently 12-1. If you fancy getting on it just now, then do so. You might get on it just now, and then it might, if it doesn't do well tomorrow at Leopardstown, its price might drift, and they might just change completely how they look at the horse. But I think it's a horse that certainly is worth looking at going forward. It's a purchase from Ireland, from France, where it had won well over there, but it did win in good ground over in France. So that bodes well still come Cheltenham, if that's what the weather's like. But remember, the Albert Bartlett's running the Friday, and thinking back, a lot of the time, come the Friday, there's been maybe a bit of rain and the ground's going soft. The other tip that I want to go with, and I've had a nibble at this, that's at 50-1 at the moment, some places for the Grand National. Now, the the entries have just been announced this week. Now tomorrow, I believe, is when the weights will come out for the Grand National, and then you'll find out if where your horse, if you've got a fancy for it, where it sits in the weights. If it's out with the top 40, then obviously it needs horses above it to drop out to get in, and that will inevitably happen. But this horse is again, it's Gordon Elliott, and it's Gigginstown. And it's actually a horse that's won twice at Cheltenham at the festival. Won the 4 Mile Novice Chase last season, and it won was it the Helmet Bartlett actually? I'm trying to remember when it won the big race it won there at Cheltenham back in 2014. In fact, it was. It won one of the novice races anyway. Stamina doesn't seem to be an issue. It won the novice marathon at the festival pretty well. Form hasn't been great of late. Ran last time at Cheltenham in that cross country race, and some would say, well, if it didn't take to the cross country, will it take to the fences in the Grand National? It's a completely different race to me, the cross country. Finished 5th there, was pulled up prior to that at Clonmel in heavy ground. But ran a decent enough effort back in October at Wexford, and again was pulled up at Fairyhouse after its win at Cheltenham. So it ran at Cheltenham, as I say, over Christmas. I don't know what Gordon's plans are. It might not be Aintree. Let's be honest, but he ran in the Irish Grand National last season and was pulled up pretty early on, if I remember rightly. So he may decide that Fairyhouse isn't for him, and he may just say what's worth giving it a pop at Aintree. Obviously, it'll be interesting to see where it's weighted. Remember last year, Michael O'Leary had a pop at Phil Smith, the handicapper, because he felt that some of his horses were unfairly handicapped for the Grand National, and he went in a big huff about it. But let's remember, this is the big race that a lot of connections want to win. So yeah, I think it's worth a pop at 50 to 1 to get a bit involved. You might want to wait and see when the weights come out where it's weighted, but I think it's a decent enough chance. Right, so that's Dortmund Park for the festival for the Albert Bartlett, and Tiger Row for the Grand National, which I think might bring out the best in Tiger Row. Especially if he gets Davy Russell on board on that one. It'll be interesting to see if he does, though. We don't know what Gigginstown's thoughts are on that just now. But yeah, Tiger Row, who's Cheltenham brings out the best of him, but hey, he may run well at Aintree as well. So that's me for this weekend's tips for Musselburgh, Sandown, Leopardstown, the bit of Lingfield in there. If you're going racing this weekend or sometime this week, enjoy it, especially if you're off to Musselburgh. Cracking track. Remember, there's a courtesy bus if you get the train from Waverley. Get the train, remember, to Wallyford, not Musselburgh. Get off there and across at the car park, you will see a courtesy bus there to take you down to the track. It's brilliant. Great wee track. You're going to love it if you're going there, especially if it's your first visit to that course. Brilliantly run by Bill Farnsworth and the team. I know there was a bit of issues at the track last year, but everything seems to be sorted, and quite rightly so. Right, that's it from me for Couple Load of Racing this weekend. Enjoy your betting. Hope you get some winners, and I'll be back same time, same place next week for more Couple Load of Racing. Have a good one.